on, folks? Thanks for tuning in again. Apologize for last week. I was out kind of getting over a cold, so this is my first workout back after getting over it, so just sweating out all the funk and whatnot. We're going to have a 30-minute full-body kettlebell Tabata style type workout. So we're going to have 2 Tabata segments, each at 12 minutes, so 24 altogether. And then sprinkled right in the mix, we're going to have like traditional type of weightlifting, so you're going to have your rest periods and everything. Let that heart rate come back down to normal, and then get another Tabata fix at the end to wrap things up. So if you want to sit tight, go over instruction, by all means, I'll have that right after this one. If not, you can jump ahead. I'll have that listed in the description box. For the first grouping of movements right here, we're going to hop into a Tabata style workout. If you're not familiar with Tabata style, it is interval training almost. Traditionally, it would be 40 seconds of work and then 20 seconds of rest. And then for however long you're training it for, typically it's like 8 periods. We're going to do 12 altogether. So with these 4 movements, we're going to get 3 sets on each. So starting off, we're going to have the alternating kettlebell bent over row. We've done this in previous videos, but soft bend in the knees, flat back, hips are back, and then just pulling the kettlebell alternating sides. So we're not too worried about rep ranges and everything like that. Whatever you can do in that 40 seconds, just be sure to pace yourself. So just stay breathing, stay consistent, and then whatever you can do in that 40 seconds. Movement number 2 right here, after we do those bent over rows, we're going to rest for 20 seconds. Then as soon as that dinger hits, we're going to be moving into some kettlebell swings. So we're kind of going to crowd the plate, get up close to that kettlebell, maybe like 3 inches behind it. Good height, get that momentum going, swinging it back to the backside. Soft bend in the knees, brace that core, nice flat back, and then as we extend through the hips, we're squeezing the glutes, getting that thing up to about mid-chest, and just let gravity do the work, like a pendulum. So it'll be 40 seconds, then you get your rest period. Number 3, we're moving into that thruster. So if you haven't picked up so far, I'm gonna do a upper body, lower body, full body, and then that last one's gonna be like a metabolic conditioning type thing, so it'll be the mountain climbers. But the thruster right here, we're gonna have it in that front rack position, moving down into a squat, be mindful, keeping the knees pointing outwards, squatting up, driving that kettlebell up overhead. So kind of use the momentum from the legs. With this one, it gets kind of taxing after a little bit, so definitely pace it out. You got 40 seconds right here, so whatever you want to do. The final movement here before we kind of loop it back to the start for this Tabata, it's going to be mountain climber, so that metabolic conditioning I was talking about. We're going to be up in that high plank, just driving the knees up to the chest. So it can go as slow as you want, or you can get wild and really pump them out for those 40 seconds if your heart rate isn't already up. Whatever you want to do within this 40 seconds. If you want to go slow, go slow. If not, go ahead, get crazy. That'll be for the 40 seconds, get that 20 seconds, and then we're going to loop it back to that beginning one with the bent over rows and just repeat that. We got the 12 minutes right here. We're going to move into more like a slowed down weightlifting type of approach to just break things up a little bit. So our first exercise is going to be a contralateral reverse lunge with a single leg torso bend. So this one's going to test your balance big time. It's going to test all of the structural muscles surrounding the hip, test that core just to stabilize throughout this movement. So we're going to have an offset load. The leg that's going back is going to be the same arm that's holding onto the kettlebell. A little bit lighter than what you would typically do for lunges, as this is going to be more stability and balance as it would be a strength movement. We do this, we're going to go into that reverse lunge. Hang out at that bottom position for like a 1 Mississippi. Then as we fire forward, we're going to drive that knee up to like a single leg stance. Then we're going to bend our torso towards the kettlebell side. We don't want our hip shooting out to the side, so we just want to move the upper body, trying to have that bottom leg straight as a pillar as we can make it. Then we're going to pull ourselves back to center. Feeling that engage to stabilize, feeling your adductors on the opposing hip stabilize as we go through this movement, and then your oblique should be lighting up. So this would be 10 on each side, moving nice and slow with this, and go a little bit lighter than what you would typically do. Movement number 2, we're going to do a single arm dead bug press. So starting off on our right side, we're going to be on our back, getting a big drive with that right side, and the same arm that's pressing, the same leg is going to be out. So we're using our core, using our hip flexors, trying to maintain that good posture as it's out there. The other one should kind of neutralize the hips to make sure our ribs aren't coming up off the ground or anything. So what we're looking for right here is a lot of shoulder stability, a lot of core strength, good proprioception as well as we go through this. So take it nice and slow, and then the whole time trying to maintain that good positioning. Movement number 3, after we get both sides for the lunges, both sides for the pressing, we're going to move into a high plank, get that kettlebell pull through. So we're going to have kettlebell just on one side in that high plank. We're going to reach through, get some good scapular movement, pull it across. So what we're looking for here, we're not having the shoulders dip, not having the hips dip at all. So really strong in the core, squeezing the glutes, pulling it across, boom, hand back down. pulling across, bam. So tie it all together, we got 5 on each side. After we finish up that nice little break in the middle with the traditional weightlifting, we're gonna move back into a TABATA style. So 40 on, 20 off, we got 12 minutes all together again, so we're gonna get 3 sets on each movement. First movement's gonna be a goblet overhead press. So we're just gonna squeeze that kettlebell right in the middle, just like a baby, shoot it up overhead. So big shoulder strength, big pressing strength. What we're looking for here when we press, we don't want our ribs and our low back and everything swanging out right there. So really strong in the core, squeezing the glutes. Then just like The Shining, when you push it up, put that head through the window. So big extension up over top, trying to get that kettlebell as vertical as we can. And yeah, so pace it out 40 seconds and then we'll keep on going throughout the rest of this workout. Second movement right here, kind of the same formatting as what we did for the first TABATA style. We're gonna do an upper, a lower, a full body, and then a metabolic conditioning. So now we're onto the lower body portion of it. It's gonna be that alternating kettlebell lateral lunge. So holding it in that front rack position, right in that goblet position, and then stepping out to the side. So big step, trying to keep our shin vertical, trying to fight the urge to lean forward with that kettlebell. I know you got weight there, but as we step out, should feel a big stretch on the straight leg, on the opposite leg. Then we're gonna be pressing hard through the outside of the hip, quads, glutes, all that fun stuff, pressing it back to center. I was kind of limited on space, so it looks like I'm doing the tango, I'm dancing with myself on my mat, but if you do have that free space, just step all the way through, then you can step all the way back into the opposite side for the lunge. Should be able to get a handful on each side. Just be mindful that we're keeping it even as we go. So if you finish on one side, try and start the next set on the opposite side, just so both legs are getting the same amount of work. Full body movement right here will be that double-handed clean. So we're gonna grab the kettlebell, set up in a deadlift position. So we got nice vertical shins, we got the hip back, bracing the core. We're gonna move into a deadlift. So we're gonna try and generate a lot of force through the heels, getting that kettlebell, good momentum going up with it. Then we're gonna do an upright row. So pulling high through the elbows and bringing it up into that goblet position. So again, 40 seconds, we're pacing it out. Being this is a full body one, definitely want to slow this one down a little bit as it is taxing. It's a deadlift and a high pull. So very controlled on the way down, explosive on the way up. Last movement, we're gonna have a Beatle, bear stance, parallel shins to the ground, nice flat back. We're not having our hips or anything moving all crazy. And we're just picking a side. So let's go to the left right now. So left arm is gonna come up, we're gonna pivot on our left side, and then that right leg gonna kick all the way through. Ideally, we want to keep that leg off the ground, keep it in the air, really tax the midsection and the hip flexors on that side. But if you need to, you can touch that heel down, still get a kick through. You're still gonna be working those obliques and the shoulder stability and all that jazz. And we're just alternating. So find a good pace that works for you. Really focus on not letting our shoulders get all shruggy on us. So when we pivot, we don't want that shoulder coming up. So really strong, pressing hard into the mat, really strong in the midsection as well. That's everything as far as discussion and instruction. Hopefully y'all digested things right there. If not, we can think on the fly, we can compromise a little bit, find something that works for you. But starting off, we're gonna have that TABATA, traditional style, and then wrap up with more TABATA, another 12 minutes, get that heart rate elevated, get a good sweat in today. We're gonna start off with kettlebell bent over rows, and we'll go from there. All right, we'll see you on the other side. Starting off strong with these bent over rows, really thinking to keep our core as tight as possible, in through the nose, out through the mouth, big hip hinge, soft bend in the knees. You got this. With our swings here, we're thinking a moving plank. So really bracing that core, bracing hard through the hips, squeezing the glutes. And then as we extend, triple extension, big squeeze again, driving that kettlebell up to about mid-chest. looking for right here with our thrusters is keeping that chest, keeping that torso up as we squat. Even while we have that weight on our chest, we don't want to let that torso fall down. We don't want to have our knees collapse. So real strong, really good posture right here and driving that kettlebell up overhead. Metabolic portion of this Tabata here. You can take it at whatever pace you'd like. I went a little bit slower just because I do have that little sickness that I'm trying to get over. If you're feeling fresh and you got some fuel in the tank, you can go ahead and pump these out. Really feeling like these 20 seconds of rest are going by way quicker than what they should be. So really try and get whatever deep breath we can in between these sets and try and hop back into it. Last go around right here, finishing up strong with these mountain climbers. I was definitely gassed at this point, I'm sure you are too, but we got about 40 seconds, so let's power through, and then we got a little bit of a break.
Sitting throwing rocks across the pavement, hoping it will cave in and swallow me whole. Wondering why my mind keeps on spinning. This isn't how living to me was told. Why am I like this? Something's always amiss. Can't put my finger on it, but it's there. Wait for it to subside, but my mind won't apply. Wait
nice little breather, got 2 minutes, get some air back in your lungs. We're gonna hop into that traditional portion of the training now. So that first one is gonna be that lunge, so testing our balance, testing our hip strength, and our core as well. So this is a funky one, this may be a new one for you. So take it slow and get these reps.
Sitting throwing rocks across the pavement, hoping it'll cave in and swallow me whole. Wondering how the world keeps on spinning, kinda scared of living when it unfolds. Hard to see the light when everything is dying, waiting for the clear. Thankful I'm alive, but terrified of dying. But hey, I'm still here. Is it bad? Sometimes I like it when I lose control. There's something in it that's so beautiful. Listen, I can see the light. But I can also see the bones again. I don't know what else there is to say. I'm doing my best not to run away.
This is an excellent movement here just to see the imbalances from side to side. This definitely highlighted that I'm a little bit stronger on my left leg as far as balance and everything. It seemed that leg to be a little bit easier to navigate, but test this on yourself, see which leg you're stronger on. Dead bug presses, you may feel that lower body a little bit swinging back and forth as we press, so just be mindful of that. Squeeze the glutes, tighten down that core, and really try and minimize any type of movement for the lower half. With our kettlebell pull through, we're trying to be mindful of having our hip swing. Try and fight that. When you lift up that arm, that same leg, try and drive into the mat as hard as you can, and that should try and stabilize those hips. If you want more of a challenge with these pull-throughs, just try and pull it farther. Ask your non-movement arm to reach a little bit farther, to pivot a little bit more on that scapula. So if you want that challenge, pull through as wide as you can. If this is a little bit challenging for you, pull to about mid-chest, then move it back. So more pull, more challenge, vice versa. Moving down the tail end of this workout, another 12 minutes, another Tabata style of workout. We're gonna start off with our overhead press. Find a weight a little bit less than what you typically do for some overhead pressing, as we are gonna get some reps in, moving for 40 seconds. This one right here is gonna be 30 pounds. So find the one that works for you, and then we'll hop into it. Alternate kettlebell lateral lunges, something to be mindful here. We don't want to take too shallow of a step, and then we're going to have our hips going out beyond our knees, beyond our ankles. So try and get just deep enough so our shins are going to be vertical, and then everything's in a nice alignment, getting that single leg squat, driving it back to center. Mind the grimacing that I'm doing in this exercise. I'm having a great time. But with this one in particular, I generate a lot of force. So really dig deep into those heels, explode upwards, extend through those hips, squeeze the glutes, and go ahead, pull that kettlebell up into that goblet position. That's a double hand clean. Doing a little breakdancing here for the metabolic portion of this Tabata, the Beatle. This is really great for single arm shoulder stability, good mobility as well throughout that scapula thoracic area of the spine, and obviously taxing the core, taxing the obliques, the hip flexors, the glutes. Full body movement right here, so take it slow, find a good pace that works for you. 40 seconds. Midway point, about 5 minutes left over. We're gonna get one more round through. So let's get a breather. Take this 20 seconds for yourself. In through the nose, out through the mouth. We'll hop back into it.
So we do it. This is when you come feel like down the street. So we chop it. So we do it. This a rhythm you lock down the street. So we chop it. So we do it. This is when you come feel like down the street. Alright. So we chop it. So we do it. Down down and we lock down the street. So we chop it. So we do it. This is when you come feel like down the street. All I'm full of we go play back again. And everybody say yeah 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 yeah. All I'm full of we go play back again. See them tapping up the big tune. All I'm full of we go play back again. And everybody say yeah 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 yeah. All I'm full of we go play back again. See them tapping up the big tune. All I'm full of we go play back again. And everybody say yeah 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 yeah. All I'm full of we go play back again. See them tapping up the big tune. All I'm full of we go play back again. And everybody say yeah yeah.
inside the rabbit hole. Set me free from you. Somebody please keep me from twisting. Keep me from twisting. Keep me from twisting. Keep me from somebody please keep me from twisting. Keep me from twisting. Keep me from twisting. Somebody please help me. Keep me from twisting. Keep me from twisting. Keep me from twisting. Keep me from somebody please keep me from twisting. Keep me from twisting. Keep me from twisting. On and on. What kind of spell you put on me? I've lost all sense and can't feel. Only you can make me whole. I don't wanna lose my soul. I'm so scared I can't breathe. I just don't know what to believe. You wrote my name on your soul. Set me free from you. Somebody please keep me from twisting. Keep me from twisting. Keep me from twisting. Keep me from somebody please keep me from twisting. Keep me from twisting.
Go around here, my friends, then you can get those kettlebells far, far away from you. So let's finish strong. 2 minutes left over. And at this point, I think the 40 seconds were feeling a lot more like hours, and these 20 seconds were flying by way too quickly. To see that second hand go down to 0 just about, super grateful. More importantly, super grateful to have you guys on board. Thank you again for having a great session with me, getting a good sweat in and finishing strong. All right, we'll see you next week. Thank you, bye. Good job, people. That was a doozy. Definitely sweating out around here. Got a cold, so that was a good way to get out all the funk from that one, get all the germs out, sweat everything out, feel nice. But again, thanks for stopping in. If there's anything that you absolutely love, drop a comment, do a thumbs up. Let me know what I was doing this week and continue doing that in next videos and whatnot. If there's anything that you were not feeling at all, whether it was my addiction or kind of just flow of the workout, rest periods, you name it. You could also give me a thumbs down, give me a comment, say, James, I absolutely hated that, and I'll go back there, doctor it up. Hopefully next go around we'll win you over, all right? But as always, thank you, and we'll see you next week.